Whew, a little windy. Well, here's the driveway. Here's the pile. First visit to the homestead in a while. Or future homestead, I should say. Woo! This is our high-tech security system. Coors is going to break the trail for us. So this is our driveway. This summer, one of the projects we're going to do, we're going to be widening it out. And what we're going to be using, we got, they had an old barn and it had a concrete floor. And we're going to pile the concrete up on this bank side because it drops down. And this used to all be trees. I cut them all down, and I still got a few more to go, but oh, this is a workout for out of shape old guy. Maybe I should have put my snow pants on. Right there's a tree. I'm not looking forward to cutting him down. This one too. Big old willow. Sheds branches. Look at these branches. Every time the wind blows. Coors just marked one of them for us, I guess. Oh, wow. There's one of the old buildings from digging around in it. It used to be a barn. Oh, we're coming up to the top of the hill here. Whew. I might have to take a break. Poor Coors. All right, so if you look around here, this used to all be trees right here. Little brush, no real good trees. Box elder, just some popples, and this whole hillside here was trees. And there's an old house on top of this hill. So what we're doing is we're gonna clear this hill down, and our gardens will go at the bottom here, and then our house will be up here on this hillside once we get it leveled off. And then we'll probably cut them box elders out of there and clear some of them pines so we can see further back. And then we'll plant some other trees. Probably more brush up front here, like elderberry and hazelnut. And then for further in the back, in front of those pines back there, we're thinking we already have planted some, but a mixture of maples and oaks, stuff along that line. There's another, besides the old building that's up there, I don't know how good you can see it. They had an outhouse and another building down over there in that corner. Here's the shed we sleep in. Here's another look of their old barn. And where these box elders are, that was one long barn over there. And that's where we're getting the concrete to put alongside the driveway. That apple tree I left when I was clearing this hillside just couldn't bear to take her down, so we're growing a bunch of apple trees by seed, and we're gonna splice some of the branches from that one onto those, so we can recreate that old apple tree in other places around the homestead here. Coors is having fun. That's an old wild plum tree. Pretty gnarly looking tree. That corn, that was a field we had planted. That was solid corn. Apparently the snow was too much for it. Still some poking up, but not like it was. I mean, that was some thick corn. See if the shed's holding up here. During the spring, summer, and fall, we stay here. And this is where we're staying until we can build our place. See if I got the key here. Okay. I'm gonna guess that one isn't the key. Ooh. No, not that guy either. One of these. Well, maybe we aren't going into the shed. It appears I don't have the key. All right, we got the door open here. All right, this is our shed. Got the solar hookup, still charging. Got a little bench. This bench here is a log from the cabin that was on top of the hill, and then some trees that I cut here on the property, and this too. All that came from the property. This is just some 2x6s I glued together. This is actually wood from that cabin. I just planed down some of the boards to take the gray off, and then it had siding, and then I just put that on there. This wood though, from Menards. And then the other cabinet too, I built, that's wood from Menards. So I can't take credit for all the wood here. But got a simple little ladder here. Goes up into a little loft. Pretty dirty. Left her, it was hunting season. And I'll probably come up here and clean her out real good in the spring. But here's the view. You look out the window here. So this is where we sleep during the summer. I got that feeder. You can see a bunch of tree tubes. We got oaks, maples, river birch, a whole variety of trees planted back there. And there's the outhouse. Some trees back in there. And then you look in here, I got these lights. Solar's still working. We ain't been here for a couple months, but we bought them lights off of Amazon, just hooked them up to the 12 volts. When I built this shed, wow, look at the flies that are stuck on the fly tape. We built all these trusses at home, and we hauled them up here. And when I bolted them on, granted, I don't know if this is proper or not, but I cut 2 angles, and we run a 1/4 inch bolt through there, and it made it super easy because I was putting these up by myself, and it made it super easy to put these trusses on here. And man, it's been like this for a couple years, so it works. I mean, we did have a couple where I did conventional, you know, I put some screws in. I always had the intention of coming back and put more angle brackets. It's just because I run out of them. And you'd see it's obviously winter here in the shed here with the sun shining on it. It ain't so bad. It's in the 50s. So down these steep stairs, which you don't want to do too much in the middle of the night if you've been drinking. All right, we'll go back outside here. There's a grill, a picnic table. I'll just walk you over. There's one more building. This is where we keep the batteries and stuff for the solar, and the solar panels on the roof underneath that snow. And that feeder, I mentioned it before, but we just got that there because it's fun to watch a deer come in and chow down. You know, you'd be sitting there getting ready to go to sleep, and the deer, they're almost tame. Here's our outhouse. This is all wood from this property. We made board and batten, and then I burned it. I used to use the propane torch. I almost swore there, sorry about that. Propane torch, and it gave it all this real nice cool black tint to it. But after about 2 years it wore off. But yeah, that's the outhouse. We'll trudge through, if I don't have a heart attack, to the pole building. Well, I wouldn't really call it a pole. It's built with poles, but it's more of a 3-sided shelter that we're storing our some of our tractor implements in. Coors is giving a good go of it. Holy smokes. Well, there's no snow on the roof. I was ciphering on that. Wow. Whew. All right, then I caught my breath. This building's 12 by 16. And obviously board and batten. We bought a tarp at Menards to cover the front because I didn't have time this year to build the sliding doors that it's gonna get. I don't know if you call it tarp or canvas. It's like a canvas material. Wasn't that bad price wise. Nah, you can't really peek in there. But this is all cut on a bandsaw mill. We bought from a guy. He was kind of closing his shop up, and we got it for dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. Woo! A little bit of snow piling on the back. The metal roof we bought at Menards, screwed it on. First time I've ever played with that, so I've made my share of mistakes on it. But the board and batten, if you look at it, because I had a whole stack of boards and I wanted to waste as little wood as possible, so what I did is it went 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for widths. And we went, what is it, 2-inch on the battens? Something like that. Come spring, I can show some details on the inside. We built this thing, I was really worried about the snow load. So I really probably overdid the roof system. But I can show that in another video when I don't have this big covering on the front. And then the property goes straight back that way. I'm not going to walk back there today. But there's a creek at the very end of the property that kind of runs and meanders through. And it's all kind of pines over there. And the deer really kind of bed up in there. And a lot of it's low. We got a lot of willows as it gets over there. But that's because the soil here is like solid clay. And we got some remedies for that too. We'll be planting a bunch of sun hemp here and some buckwheat, and we'll be tilling that in or crimping it, folding it over and kind of planting under it and just letting it grow and rot and grow and rot. The tubes in there, them are apple trees that we started from seed last year, and we got some more out in there. We literally planted the seeds, or I put them in the freezer last year in January, and we sprouted them, put them in little jiffy pots. I grew them under a grow light, brought them up here, and by the end of summer they were waist high. And the ones that were looking the best, we put in the tubes. So we got some little apple trees growing. There's a big ditch over there too that I'm digging. And while I'm cleaning, there was an old ditch there that they must have dug 100+ years ago, and it had mostly filled in. And the issue we got is the neighbor has a ditch that must come from a spring that goes all the way across his property, and it all drains, and it was hitting where our ditch was kind of filled in. So the water is just kind of spreading over here, and it never makes it to that creek. So we're not going to connect to that creek. I'd like to keep a lot of that water here for various reasons. But I'm cleaning the ditch, making it about 6 feet, and I'm going to run it, because it's with what we own, I'll run it almost the whole length of the property here. But yeah, this is a quick winter overview. I just wanted to get some footage, even if no one else is interested. I wanted to get some footage of what this looks like in the winter, so I can look back on it in the summer when I'm out here sweating like a fiend, working away, and look back on how cold it was in the winter. I don't think cores will forget. Yeah, out there we got a big, beside the corn, it's half corn, half clover. And this year it'll probably be buckwheat where the corn was, and then we'll crimp the buckwheat going into midsummer, and we'll plant turnips underneath it, but the clover will stay. The clover is great where that feeder is, but the deer literally in like 1 week, I mean, they'll eat on the clover all summer, but it starts getting cold, and then the deer come out and they just level the clover right down to the ground. The corn and turnips, they kind of waited until it was colder before they started pounding them, but they pretty much decimated them out too. So we're going to be expanding on that, hopefully give them a little more food to survive these upper Michigan winters. You know, I hunt, but I'm not a trophy hunter. I don't the horns don't really concern me that much. I just like I like having venison stew, and I like making deer jerky. So the horns don't really concern me too much. And we try and use most everything we can, and I might show some projects on that, on some different videos on what I use some of the bones for and the hooves. But and the hides, I tan the hides. I'm not sure if I want to make a video on that or not, because there's plenty of them out there on YouTube already. But I got a whole raft of hides that I've tanned, and I use them for various things. I mean, in fact, once we get a completely enclosed pole barn up here, I'm probably gonna stretch some hides out and put them on the inside walls, just because I like it. Well, that'll be it for this video. So have a good one. Coors is looking for, who knows what he's looking for. Maybe I'll tape it if he finds it.